After a year with the Fujifilm X100VI, I can confidently say this. It's the camera I grab when I'm just ready to go. Whether it's a day out with my family or I need a BTS camera on a shoot, it just kind of fits my life. And honestly, sometimes literally into my daughter's diaper bag. Well, check this out. This is my main backpack. Main as in coffee shop, laptop, iPad, some random knickknacks go in here. And then there's a camera bag and all that. But this one I usually drag around. It had some mileage on it. I was kind of just hoping it was in here. This is usually how I pack up the camera. It just sits in that front pocket by itself. I try not to put too much else with it just to not scratch the screen, but that's kind of how I throw it around. I'm not saying you should throw it around, but it's kind of tough, and it's exactly how I wanted to treat a camera like this. So that's how I want to posture this review. I've seen people who are way more skilled than I am use way less spec heavy gear. So with that said, find the camera that works for you. And this one kind of works for me. So my first point is ease of use. I was actually really pleasantly surprised by the buttons, the menu layout, and how easy I could just jump in. I haven't used a Fuji camera before. This is my first one. So jumping in is always a little annoying for me. I'm not a huge menu system settings diver. I like to keep it simple. I know the settings, I know how to work the camera. I don't really care to just dive into all the nitty gritty. It's just not me. But what I really did like is some of this tactile function of the shutter speed, the ISO, and just how simple this front is. It moves around really nicely. You can change the ISO. You got the button clicking of the shutter, and then you have your aperture around this. You have two little knobs. Spin. Two little knobs. That really has a nice click to it for the aperture. And then beyond that, this cap, baller. I can't believe I haven't lost it, honestly. But somehow now that I'm thinking about it, I have no clue I haven't lost this thing. But it's great. I mean, just strong, sturdy. Fits on. I don't know how I haven't lost it. I'd buy the camera just based on that. How in the world? I always take it off and put it in a pocket and then go throughout the whole day and then realize, oh, it's in my pocket. But somehow I haven't lost it yet. I just had this thought. Am I recording? It does have internal NDs. And I told you I'm not going to get spec heavy, but that's pretty neat. I got this camera to capture family memories and to be proud of the family memories looking back at them. So with that, I wasn't looking for something that just would click and get it done with and I really wanted an experience. And this camera is actually a really nice experience. It feels comfortable to hold, to shoot with. It feels good. A little flip out screen. I can't believe it's 2025 and this came out in 2024, but this is all we're doing. It's pretty good. But at this point, everyone wants to see themselves. Selfie mode would be nice. That sounds crazy to say actually out loud now that I said it. Sorry about that. This little toggled guy, you move around the menu with that. That's actually kind of nice. It gets the job done. Whoa, my goodness. Let's do that. All right, I got my computer. I'm going to look up some specs. Let me just read some off for you. I'm going to do what I think you should do, and we'll go to... Is it still hard to get one of these? Wasn't trying to... Okay, B&H. All right, specs. All right, I'm going to read some specs. Sensor resolution, effective 40.2 megapixels. Seems kind of like a lot. It's a APS-C image sensor. It has some decent image stabilization for its video features. Kind of cool. Focal length is 23 mil, but it's a 35 mil equivalent with that APS-C. It's a fun focal length. 35 or 50 are fun, but I like 35 on a camera where you're trying to capture memories. Just being a little wider is actually pretty helpful. Maximum aperture. Do you mind if I take a drink of hot cocoa? Oh, check this out. Favorite mug, Dream. Right there, Dream. Let's see, where am I? F2, maximum aperture. ISO sensitivity. That is just one of those things where like everything can go up really high. Don't be crazy in low light, but if you really want to know a photo, it goes down to 125 ISO all the way up to 12,800. It does have an extended, but if you, my goodness, just go to sleep if it's that dark. All right, lots of internal recordings. This is the kind of stuff, you know, see if it fits what you would like. Does it actually do it 10-bit? Yeah, I gotta do another video complete on the video and see another video on the video specs of this camera. I've used them a little bit, but maybe I can do some kind of comparison between the FX3, which I usually shoot on, and this. So SD cards, Wi-Fi, display screens 3 inches, tilting touchscreen, flash. Does it have a built-in flash? Haven't even used the flash. It's got a built-in flash. The battery is great. I have used the Ricoh and I loved it, the GR3. Really, really love it. I don't remember the battery being that great on the Ricoh. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. If you're a Ricoh lover and the battery rocks for you, that's great. I don't remember it being awesome though. Yeah, but the images on that little thing are wicked. This number's called me a bunch. Hello. Yeah, nope, that was spam call. I do want to make a note about the Ricoh GR3. That's an exceptional camera. I think it's a little less expensive, which is good. The image quality is wild. I think some of my favorite images I've ever taken. Am I recording? I am recording. I think some of my favorite images I've ever taken are on a Ricoh. And yeah, you need to go check out. So Garrett Ware, I'll link his channel. He's got a great review of the Ricoh. Go there first before you buy a Fujifilm, before you do anything else. That camera is very interesting. The main thing is, if you know your cameras, if you know your settings, if you are able to take pictures and you understand the basics, then most cameras can work for you, especially nowadays. It's 2025. Man, there are so many good cameras, so don't get too hung up on the specs. Think of investment piece. That's one thing with this camera. Honestly, I wanted a newer camera so I could kind of keep with the times. There's just a lot of speed that can happen in processors that they build into cameras, just like your new iPhone. Every time you upgrade that thing, your other iPhone was most likely fine, maybe some goofy battery drainage, but you're really buying a new processor, just a little faster to keep up with new evolving apps. And so then it just is this big cycle, and that's consumerism. But that's what I was thinking on investing in this camera. I wanted something that I was going to enjoy using and something that I knew would be quick and keep up and last for a few more years. So to close, I always want to stay authentic with you. I think this camera is worth checking out, but there are plenty others. So do some comparisons, go do some spec comparisons. Don't spend too much time on it on Adorama or B&H, and just drop in a couple so you can see where you're at and what you'd like and what's important to you. And then watch some YouTube videos. I promise you there are tons of people who are incredible. I mean, all right, Joe Greer is a wildly good photographer. He could use he does, oh my gosh, check out Joe Greer's Instagram. He does just unreal photography with his iPhone. It's so good. And then on YouTube, he also does these photo walks. That's my favorite type of content to watch when it comes to street photography, where you see kind of just what he's looking at and then he snaps a photo, and it's always like he has a way to just kind of pause time the whole picture is worth 1,000 words, and you can see it in his images when you just look around the image. Some people, like me, you may just look at an image and just look at one flat surface of like, oh, pretty view, Justice. With Joe Greer, he's someone that you're looking at the depth in the image, you're looking at the people, you feel emotion, he's very good. And he can do that with any camera. So if you're too stuck on the specs, maybe jump down, just find some different people who are really good and take some lessons from them on composition, on lighting, and then you might realize, I don't need to spend much money at all. All right, this was a fun, simple video. Thanks so much for watching. If you subscribe, you probably didn't make it this far. Average viewer duration's around 2 minutes, but honestly, if you could subscribe, that would mean a whole lot to me and my family and my child. All right. Remember, dream, and I'll see you later.